Welcome to the show. Today we are going to talk about the world's most famous or one of the most famous motoring and car show, Grand Tour. So last week, the last episode of this Grand Show was released. But that was a bittersweet experience for its fan because this was the last episode and they will not be able to watch this show anymore. So here we have two big fan of Grand Tour. So this is Rahul Narayan and Yash Vardhan, and I would say that Rahul is bigger fan and Yash is definitely, he's also fan. So I guess you saw this episode last night?
Yes, I just saw it last night, and as usual, it was a very good episode, a good special. So in this, the trio, the Jeremy Clarkson, James May, and Richard Hammond, the three hosts of this show, they traveled to Zimbabwe in this last episode.
Okay.
So they traveled the length of the Zimbabwe, saw the various sites, traveled by road, they converted the car into a train, they traveled through that, they traveled on a boat, and finally they ended at the spot where it all began. The very first special that they had shot around more than 20 years ago in Botswana. So this was kind of a bittersweet moment for the fans because it was the last episode and they had planned the whole thing in the way so the whole journey sort of came through a circle. So it ended where it began. So it was a good special. It was a well directed, and obviously the chemistry between the three hosts, which has always been the most important point of this program. Because they have a very colorful personality, slightly acerbic at times, but always funny, always humorous, and slightly sarcastic as well.
Jeremy Clarkson is, I believe, the most colorful, most famous.
Yes, I believe among all the personalities, the media personalities that I know, he is the most divisive and polarizing person because people either tend to really dislike him or really like him. Though I would say most people, even like myself, who do like Jeremy Clarkson, find some of his thoughts and opinions controversial. But overall, he's a very interesting person. He knows how to entertain people. He's a very good speaker. So, anyways, with that, those personalities, their charm, all shown through in this last episode, as it does in every single episode of Grand Tour. So finally, it was a very good episode. So a very good way to end not saying the end the career, but at least end this journey. They made their name through hosting the car show, all three of them together. And finally, that was the last time, as they say, that they will come together on screen. So it was good overall.
Because they are just, I believe, 60-year-old roughly, and so
Yes.
and nowadays 60-year-old is not exactly considered old now. So. So if they want, they can do it similar thing in 70 at the age of 72. If they are some fit, they take care of their health, so maybe they can still do this stuff.
But at least the plan, as they say right now, that the plan is not to really come together. But let's hope they reunite at least in some format. But this.
So why did they end this? Because this was going very well. So what was the reason behind this?
So, well, you can say that it is a car show, but what it actually is, it is an adventure show. And it became one quite a long time back. So it is very difficult to make these shows, which anyone can make out because they travel to many countries. And they just don't go to the popular places. They obviously always go to the offbeat kind of places.
Okay, they explore new places.
So they explore new places. They purposefully try to inconvenience themselves so as to make an interesting program. So, for example, one of the episodes in Top Gear, the program they hosted before Grand Tour was they have to cross the English Channel. That is, they have to sail from England to France around 20-21 miles. But they have to do it in a car. So they have to convert their car into a boat and then sail through the choppy seas of the English Channel. Obviously, that's risky. So these are the kind of episodes that they make. Even in Grand Tour, they travel to Namibia, Colombia, and all these places. So Namibia has deserts, huge sand dunes. So they obviously They have it is risky, it is hot, and sometimes the roads are not good, which makes it a lot of fun. But it probably takes a toll on their health. And as they say, for example, it was not really did not suit the kind of person. I mean, they are 60-year-olds now. Right. So this is sort of someone who is in 30s or 40s or 50s. So it does not really. So I think it was James May who says you don't want to see a car host struggling to get out of a car while explaining the features of the car. So they ended on a high note. But from the fans' point of view, obviously we would want to see them make these kind of shows till they're 90. Yeah. Let's see, let's hope, because they make their own shows in their own capacity, individual capacity. But when they come together, that is when basically the magic happens. So the fans will definitely miss that.
So this was kind of a adventure show.
Yes.
They had mixed a car show, and the format is like they are doing some adventure, and fans are enjoying the experience.
Exactly.
Yes.
Right. So it was very difficult for them to continue at this age.
Exactly. They are quite old, like 60, and plus they don't look that fit, to be honest.
Yes, they drink a lot. They are not really very healthy. They are not really fit. Which has also sort of added the charm. I mean, they don't really take care of health. They don't really, it seems as if they don't apply makeup. They don't even sort of comb their hair or tuck their shirt in. So that sort of brought out the genuineness of their personality.
But as opposed to typical car show hosts who are very well dressed, even fit looking, they are polarly opposite of that. So I think only Richard Hammond was only one who took care of his looks and health. Other two never took care of their health, never took care of their looks.
That was the charm of the show.
Yeah, the everyman
right.
charm they had.
Yes.
Right. So I'm sure you both will miss this show in future. And from the point of view of audience, I would say that they must come together in future, maybe in some other format.
Yes, because this has been going for a very long time. So Grand Tour, this was the 6th season of Grand Tour. But they used to host another show, Top Gear, which I mentioned earlier. And the Top Gear was made by BBC. Okay. So that was
the first show.
That was the first show. They came together on that show. So I think Jeremy Clarkson was the first one to be hired on that show. And then later on, he hired James May and Richard Hammond. Okay. So basically those three were the face of the show. I mean, the show continued after they had left, but the main spirit of the show had gone, because it was basically these three hosts that gave the X factor to the show. So they hosted probably little less than 25 years, probably 23 or 24 years Top Gear, and then 5-6 years in Grand Tour. So a lot of people grew up watching these shows. It used to be broadcast probably in above of 175 countries, probably more than 300 million people used to watch Top Gear.
So had they been to India?
Yes, they had been to India.
4 or 5 times, I believe.
As far as Jeremy Clarkson says, he has also been banned from India. I don't know whether that is true or not. Most of the times, if they travel to a country, they really praise the country. So whether they go to Colombia or Namibia or even Argentina, they used to praise it. But sometimes maybe they said some things that caused them to be banned. I don't know if that's true or not, or he was just saying it for the sake of saying it. But yes, they have made one of their specials in India, with a travel through the length and breadth of India. So it was also a good special for if someone, let's say, wants to start. Someone is not really a fan of this Top Gear and Grand Tour. So India special could be one place to start. But then there are so many great specials they made. They traveled. There is a special called Africa Special. Okay. So that is really, really good. Then there is the Botswana, where the first special they made. When I say special, when they travel outside UK, went to another country and then traveled to the another country. Even in Grand Tour, they went to Colombia, Namibia, and so many other countries. So this might be a good place for people to start exploring this show if someone has not already done that.
Seems to be very interesting show, so I will definitely try to start watching it. So which episode will you recommend for the first audience? So which is the best one? It
is very difficult to say which is the best one. I can probably give my list of top 5. So if someone has Amazon Prime where he or she can watch Grand Tour, so probably Namibia special and Colombia special are two of my favorites in this format of the show. And if someone wants to watch Top Gear, I guess in India people can watch it on Discovery Plus streaming service where the Top Gear seasons are available. And in that, Africa special and Vietnam special. So where they travel through Vietnam on mopeds and scooters. So it was a lot of fun. So these might be good places to start. But if people like these specials, then I'm pretty sure they would be able to enjoy the other episodes as well.
Which one would you like to recommend us?
Do you have a favorite? They had gone to America. Do you remember where they had made an RV?
Yeah, that was quite funny, especially when they went to south of USA.
That was in Top Gear.
Yes, that was in Top Gear. So as he told us that if they have to criticize a country, they criticize in very humorous way. So even in that, they had to be bit critical of USA. Like they went to south of USA, which was rather bit backward part of USA and has too much of gun culture. So they showed how crazy the gun culture is in USA and how guns are easily available, but it is in very non-preachy way. That is very bad. In fact, anything they show, like in yesterday's episode, which was set in Zimbabwe, right? They showed us that one railway track which started from North Africa and ends to South of Africa. How was it? Something like that, right?
Yes.
Railway track,
which was made by British. I was not aware of this track thing. So because of this show, they showed in very non-preachy. It's not like they are really educating, but you get to know because they are showing it through visuals and adventure. So I was like, okay, I may never even have searched about this thing on internet or Google or something, but because they showed in a very fun way, they are actually showing it on the track where the cars are there. So I got to know about it. I even got to know about man-made river made in Zimbabwe.
It was kind of a lake because they had dammed that river. So
yes, which was made in 1950s.
So that was one of the things. The fans got to travel the world along with them.
Plus, we got to know beyond the stereotype. Like in Colombia, we only hear about this Pablo Escobar, who was a famous drug lord of 1980s and 90s. That is part of Colombia, but that is not the only part of Colombia. We only know this part, but because when you see Grand Tour or Top Gear, you also get to know Colombia beyond Pablo Escobar, like how awesome the natural beauty is and how are the roads there, how are the people and the culture there. So that is how we get to know about these places.
So they focus on exploring different things and probably more on positive sides of any country. They try to show that.
Yes.
That's a good thing.
Yes, that's a good thing. We get to actually know a lot about these places because of these people. They properly, it looks like the research on the country. And so that is how they actually go. It's not one is thing like, okay, you open the book, you read about this place and say, okay, this place has great architecture or great mountains. No, they literally go to the place where we can see the great mountains. So that is how it keeps glued.
Meeting the people.
Sometimes they meet the people, but it's kind of more of an adventure show. So the meeting with people, sometimes it happens, sometimes it doesn't. But whenever it does happen, again, it happens in a humorous way.
Like yesterday's finale, I saw they had gone to some auto parts shop in Zimbabwe.
Okay.
So one of the shop owner was showing a newspaper headline which shows that these guys have come to Zimbabwe and people are flocking to see them. So that was to show how popular this show is around the world.
Around the world. Definitely, when it is aired in around the world, then good things always travel across the globe.
Yes.
Right.
Because this is a fun show. That's why I have not just watched the show, I have rewatched these episodes many times.
Okay.
So if it is not fun, if it is not positive, you don't really go back to a show.
Correct.
So because it was so much fun, that is why the legion of fans around the world, and that's why people most probably watched and rewatched the show.
I think so. These three are the most famous British celebrity after Mr. Bean.
Probably.
Like everyone can recognize Mr. Bean. You go to any part of the earth, you can recognize Mr. Bean. That's even, in fact, that is what the actor who plays Mr. Bean said, that whenever I go, wherever I go, people flock to see me. So I believe these people also face the same, that they are so famous that
among youngsters, I suppose.
Not exactly, because this show is around 25 years old. So there is a good chance that who was a 20 years old back then, he must have grown up watching. Now he's in, I believe, in 40s. Yes. Maybe in India, maybe only among youngsters, but other world where people anyway regularly watches BBC, they must have been watching this show. So yes, it is among 40s or 50s, or even they also are fan of these people.
So do you recommend it for our audience to watch it?
Definitely. So if anyone does like watching these reality shows, sort of adventure shows, so definitely they can give this a try. Yes. So definitely. So this is one of the most prominent programs on Amazon Prime. So start with that, and if people like it, they can just go and explore Top Gear as well.
And if you are fans of these three hosts, then you can see the reality show, we can call them reality show, right?
Right.
But made by them, in which only they are hosting. So for Jeremy Clarkson, you can watch either Who Wants to Be a Millionaire UK version, or Clarkson Farm, which is again available on Amazon Prime. In fact, I was surprised how popular Clarkson Farm is, because it is based on topic of farming.
Yes,
you can understand. Yes, you can understand people watching car show because they are fun to watch. You can see fast cars moving in very fast speed. But to make an entertaining show on farming and make it a big hit, that really requires a good hosting. That shows how awesome Jeremy Clarkson is as host. Then there's another person whose name is James May. He makes travelogue show, as in he goes to different countries and make. One season is based on one country. So one was I believe in Japan, another was in Italy, recent one was based on India. So I have seen some of Japan's, much of Italy, and he explored it very nicely. I came to know so much about Japan and Italy culture because of these both seasons.
Okay.
And I believe Richard Hammond also has own show in which he talks about classical cars. Its name is Richard Hammond's Workshop.
Okay.
So among these three,
so
the
they
most
are
watched,
doing their individual shows also.
Definitely.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah, among these three, the most watched is Clarkson Farm. In fact, I think so, Jeremy Clarkson even got Farmer of the Year or something.
Yes,
award
he got an award
from Farmers Association.
Yes, I also saw one of the episodes of farming. Then that was quite interesting. So on this note, we end this episode, and I hope you would have enjoyed the entire show with Rahul and Yash. So thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next episode with some new topic. Till then, bye-bye.